How high do I usually... Whoa. Guys, using ring lights are hard. Where are you going? Come back. Okay, perfect. Perfect. First of all, I'm hoping I have enough storage to film all of this, because I just checked and it's not looking good. Hey guys. Oh, I'm actually so excited about this. Okay, let me start from the very beginning. And the very beginning is... Hello! Hello. Welcome back to, or welcome to, or welcome back to, depending if you've been here before or not, to my YouTube channel. And on this week on Side Quest Summer, I'm doing something very exciting. Well, it's exciting for me. I don't know if anyone else finds it exciting. But you're in for a treat, because I'm doing this 7-day challenge where I try and post a YouTube video every day. And the challenge is also sort of a competition with one of my friends. I'm not really sure what the rules of the competition are. Like, I don't know if it's a competition based on views or anything, or if it's just like to see if we actually make it through the challenge. It's a competition to keep going. And hopefully, for both our sakes, we both make it to day 7 without missing any days. Yeah. So it's basically a competition just to make sure we keep each other on track. Because I'll be filming and editing a video every day, I'm going to try and keep the videos as simple as possible, so there's not massive amounts of editing that needs to happen. So don't expect anything fancy. Not that many of my previous videos have fancy editing, but I'm going to cut down on the audios that I need to, the free, copyright-free audios that I need to find, and music and stuff. Getting into the actual content of today's video. So today is Monday, the 1st of September, 2025, if you didn't know what year it was. So today's the first day of the competition, and I had a video idea for today, so I just stuck with it. But now I'm thinking I may or may not have bitten off more than I can chew, flown too close to the sun, because it's currently like 1:45, 1:45, and there's a lot of things I need to do, which you can probably tell because the thumbnail of this video, you know, the title of this video. You might think like, oh, it's not even 2 o'clock yet, it's not that late in the day, but I have somewhere to be at 6 o'clock and I need to leave at 5:30. So I essentially have 3.5 hours to do all these things, to start my 10 projects. So that's what this video is. Starting 10 projects in one day. But starting 10 projects does not mean finishing 10 projects or even getting far with any of those 10 projects, which time is not on my side, so I'm very much going to be just starting. And you might be thinking, Rebecca, what is the point in doing 10 projects at once? Multitasking does not work. Surely it'd be better to focus on just one thing rather than 10 things at once. But that's not the point. I'm not trying to do... If you're trying to get something done fast, then yeah, focus on one thing at a time. But this is just like those extra projects that you have in your life that you do in your free time. And say you've started reading a book and that's your project for the time being. Maybe one day you have some free time and you don't feel like reading a book, but you don't want to go on your phone. So that's why 10 different projects is good to have options. So I'm going to run you through the list of 10 I need to get my notebook. The list of 10 things that I have written in this notebook. They're in no particular order. It's just the order that I've written them down in. Is there anything else I need to say before we get started? So I'm going to run you through the list, and then I'm going to update you later. Then I'll edit it later on too. Hopefully we can do it in the time. I'm starting big. I went big for the first day. Went big. Let's get into the actual video. List of projects. Project number 1. Crocheting. A crochet project. Okay, no. Let's start again. Project number 1. Crocheting a cardigan. I've been really into crochet recently. I say really into crochet recently. I've been crocheting for like a while now, but recently I've been making a lot more stuff because it's been the summer, but particularly in these last few weeks. So I'm just really like into it, like at the specific point in time, more than I have periods of time where I get into get into crochet. And this is one of them. So I thought that a good project to do would be to start some sort of crochet thing, and making it a project that I don't usually do, because I've made a lot of crochet things in the past, but they're all usually quite small. And the reason for that is I get bored really easily and I want to like make something as quick as I can. So I want to make some item of clothing to wear, and I've made clothing before, but again, they've been kind of like, they've mostly been mesh based, so it doesn't take that long. I'll show you some pictures of things that I've made because I can't reach them currently. I'm sitting on a beanbag. You can't actually see, but I'm sitting on a beanbag, and if you've ever sat on a beanbag before, it's really hard to move and get out of them, and then when I come back to the same position, it'll be really hard to get in the same position. The biggest thing I probably made clothing wise was this, and probably overall out of the things I've made, has been this. I went to a Conan Gray concert last March, and I made this like black top thing with like a yellow star in the middle, because that was like the vibe of his album. The star could have gone better. That's not the point. The point is the top didn't even have sleeves. I'll show you a picture of the top. Top didn't even have sleeves. So I want this project to be a crochet cardigan or jumper or something like that. I'm going to use black yarn just because I've got a lot of black yarn at the moment. And I don't want to make it meshed. I want to make it like a proper, no holes in it, proper, yeah. And the other thing with crochet is that I don't really like to use tutorials or like patterns. I get the point of tutorials and patterns to learn, and when I first was learning crochet, I like really relied on tutorials, especially on YouTube. But now that I won't say I'm like an expert at crochet, but I'm like decent. A lot of unless there's something that I don't know how to do, a lot of the time I just make up my own pattern, figure it out myself, because I don't have the patience to follow a tutorial, especially because sometimes you click a YouTube video that you like the look of and then it's like an hour long and you're like, I'm not following this step by step for an hour, especially because I crochet whilst watching TV, binge watching stuff on my phone, so can't be watching a tutorial and that at the same time, especially if I've only got my phone on me. Moving on to the second project number 2. Oh no, I do actually have to get up. I'll be back. First of all, actually, can we just talk about, that probably means nothing to you. This is my set of crochet hooks. For the longest time, these have been strewn across like different projects and different bags that I've been keeping crochet stuff in. And now I've gathered them all together and I have my full set back, and if you're a crocheter and you lose hooks a lot of the time, you probably know what a big deal this is. The only sad part is I've got all my hooks, but I don't have my crochet scissors, and they're actually, I love them so much, and I've lost them for like the past week. I don't know where they are. And I have other scissors in the house, so it's not a big deal, but they go in this little pouch here, and they're really small, and they like fold up so the blades like tuck in on themselves and they hide, so when you're actually holding the scissors, there's like, they're not dangerous. Not that normal scissors are that dangerous if you're careful with them, but like, these are just so cute and small and awesome, and I don't know where they've gone. I will find them before the end of the week, before the end of this 7-day challenge. So for number 2, project is reading, and you might just say that reading a book is not a very big project. People read books all the time. I read books a lot of the time, not all the time, but this is a project. I'm calling this a project because it's a really big book. I'm definitely not gonna read all of this within this week, because these projects, as I said, do not have to happen within the week. They just have to be started today, and I might give you an update on them later in the week. But yeah, this book is about Arthurian legends, and is that the end of the book, or is that like a afterword? What are they called? I don't know. It is called an afterword. I didn't actually know that. Well, I did, because I used the word afterward. So if this is the end of the book, it's like 844 pages long. It's over 800 pages, is my point. So getting through this is probably quite a big project. I'll start that today from page 0. No, from page 1. Books don't particularly have a page 0. And at the end of today, when I'm updating you on all these 10 projects, I will tell you what page number I've got to with that. Project number 3. Oh, making a new project on Scratch. You know Scratch, you may or may not know Scratch, the like coding, game making website thing. is it a website? Like an app? An app where you can make other apps. I don't know. I used it a lot in school, in primary and secondary school, and I have it on one of my computers here. I used to really love Scratch, loved computer science, did it for GCSEs. I just ran out of storage, and you know how time was not of the essence, not on my side? Well, I've just had to spend ages deleting a bunch of stuff, and I still don't have that much storage, so I'm probably gonna have to do it again. Not a good start to the week, especially because if I have no storage now, I'm not gonna have any storage later down the line. It's because there's a bunch of stuff in my camera roll that I can't delete yet because they're for other videos that I haven't quite edited or made that I've pushed back to after this week because they're not a part of the challenge. Anyways, that's annoying. Back to me talking about Scratch. Quickly wrapping up point 3 before I run out of storage again. Love Scratch. I'm gonna start a project where I make a game on Scratch, and I'm gonna take inspiration from this game that I started to make when I was like 13, 12, I can't remember what year it was in, year 12, no not year 12, when I was in year 7 or year 8 or something, and I was actually working in a pair, and I did like the coding and she did the graphics, like the design of all the characters and stuff. So this time I'm gonna have to draw the little characters on with the painting tool on Scratch, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do it myself. It was essentially, the game was aliens and monsters, and I think there was this monster that crash landed on an alien planet and then had to go through a bunch of different levels, and each level he'd get back a piece of his ship, and then you'd have to assemble the ship together and then something before he could leave. And it was there was slightly more to it than that, but that's what I sort of remember. I can visualize it in my head what it looks like, so my friend did a good job with the graphics. Yeah, pretty good sounding game. I think it was slightly more in depth than that, but I want to try and recreate that, but better if I can, better than my memory of it, even though it's pretty good from what I recall. So that's project number 3, creating a Scratch game. I will show you how much I end up getting done today, even though it's already like 2 o'clock. Going into number 4, making my room nicer. Okay, so what I mean by this is I want to optimize my room for being productive in my room and not being on my bed on my phone, because I feel like recently I've spent a lot of time, even if I'm not on my phone, but I'm still in my bed and I'm doing like reading in my bed or crocheting on my bed, and I'm not like making enough use of all this space. And I also keep getting recommended, I say keep, it's been a few, getting recommended YouTube videos that are like how to turn your room more whimsical. My room's pretty whimsical and nice already. As you can see, I've got posters and stuff up, and my wallpaper is not plain or bland, it's space. There's more posters around the room that you can't see, and I've got bunting crisscross across my ceiling, yellow bunting from my birthday party, because yellow is my favourite colour. But yeah, today, the start of making my room nicer is tidying it, so then I'm actually able to use it, and then I'll move on to making stuff like maybe those crochet garlands that I keep seeing of like, I don't know, flowers or like ivory things around my room and other stuff like that. I'm not quite sure. But the start of the project today is just tidying my room. It is a bleak day when you have to delete videos of your dog for storage. I need to hurry up and make those other YouTube videos, but I can't do that this week, as I said. We are on to number 5. On my list, it just says something sketchy, but what I meant was I'm gonna get a page of my sketchbook and draw something on it every day. So I'm gonna start with whatever today, I'm not sure. Maybe a randomized list will tell me what to draw. And then randomized, or maybe I'll ask someone to something random, like tell me what to draw today, and whatever I need to do, I'm gonna need to work it into the picture until the picture makes, at the end of the week, the picture will look like one cohesive picture, even though I've drawn something different, something random on it every day, and I have to make it fit. This is one that I want to make like throughout this week, so this is going to be like a 7-day thing, like the YouTube challenge, but the other things aren't. But this one specifically is, because I'm going to draw 7 things over 7 days and somehow make them all come into one picture, even if today I ask someone and I get told to draw a dragon, and then tomorrow I get told to draw like a snowman, or I don't know, something that wouldn't make sense with a dragon. I have to make it work. Number 6, I'm excited for this one. Number 6 is an embroidery project, and specifically what I want to do is, I've had this vision for a while of like a belt that's got planets embroidered on it, like in the solar system. I'm not really sure like how the order would go, because it's not really round like the solar system. It's like a belt, although the belt does go round, but not like that. But basically where there's a belt, fabric belt, and you've got little embroidered planets on each one. That seems like a big project because embroidery takes a while, but today I will start embroidering a planet. I've already got a belt that I made for a different dress for something else, which I think will work because the fabric's like silver. I'm not sure if I need to check the spacing, the spacing for the space planets. And because it's already made into a belt, I'll embroider the planets on different fabric and then attach them, because I can't really embroider on something I've already made because that belt is not fitting into an embroidery hoop. Project 6 is outer space planet embroidery onto a belt. On to number 7. Number 7 is going to go ahead and be writing short stories every day. I'm not sure for how long. I don't even know if it's every day, but just consistently writing short stories because I need to get more into writing short stories, and just stories in general. And if I had an empty notebook, I'd just fill an empty notebook with short stories. But all my notebooks, I've got so many notebooks, and they've all got at least they've all got at least a few things in them. So there's no fresh notebooks where I can because I'd love to do a challenge where it's like filling a notebook in 1 week, but I don't have any empty notebooks, and I'm not going to go out and buy another notebook because I've got enough already. But I do have this one notebook which I do prefer to write my writing ideas and my short story that has already got a few short stories in, so I'll use that one to write some more short stories in, and we'll see how many I can get done by the end of the week. But it doesn't stop at the end of the week. But this particular project won't stop at the end of the week. It will continue to infinity and beyond. Oh my gosh, number 8. I'm excited about this one too. This one's more simple, and you might think this is not really a project, but in my heart it is. And that's kind of a pun based, well, it's not a pun. That's kind of funny based on what the project actually is. This is inspired by something I saw on TikTok ages ago, many, many years ago, where this girl had this thing where anytime she'd see a heart out in public or something that looked like a heart, so whether it was actually a heart on like a poster or if it was just a cloud or a leaf that was shaped like somewhat like a heart, she'd take a picture of it, and she had an album in her photos which was just heart-shaped stuff. And I think that's so cute. So that's something that I want to start doing. And since then, I've just haven't been able to stop thinking about it, especially, well, it's not like I think about it every second of every day, but I am constantly reminded of it when I see hearts and things, or even if it's other shapes, like smiley faces, when you see smiley faces and things that aren't smiley faces. But I think about that more often than you usually think about TikToks that you saw many, many years ago. So I'm going to start an album in my photos, if I have the storage to, of hearts or things that look like hearts. Yeah, and I'll show you how many farts. I'll show you how many hearts I can find today. Okay, we've got 2 left. Number 9 is learning a song on the piano. Now, when I wrote this on the list, I didn't know what song I wanted to learn on the piano. And then I looked up, piano tutorials on YouTube. I was like, songs on the piano, or I can't remember what I searched, but I searched something about beginner songs on the piano, easy-ish ones to learn. And one of the first ones that came up was What Was I Made For? Billie Eilish, Barbie movie, And I was like, that's a good song, I like that song, and it's also good for the piano. So that's what I'm going to try and start learning today, and I'll show you how much, even if it's just 2 chords, that I managed to learn by the end of the day, or rather 5:30. Number 10, the last one, is actually, I'm already doing it, because number 10 is this 7-day YouTube challenge, because that's a project, and that's something that I've started today. So this is something that I've already got started on, and the update on it will be me posting this video and editing it, and just this video in its entirety is the start of this project. So yeah, now that I've gone through all 10, coming up with a list of 10 projects to start was pretty tricky, especially because the first one was crochet, and I was like, I can't have them all be crochet projects, I need to think of different things. They're all pretty creative, but I managed to do it. There was a point where I had 5, and I was like, should I just make it 5 things, starting 5 projects in one day? But I was like, no, you can do this, you can think of more stuff. 10 projects sounds better. 10 projects is better than 5. Be a bit more insane. Shoot shoot for the stars. Reach for the stars. All that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. I contemplated learning that on the piano, but I was like, no, because when I saw what I made for I was like, this makes more sense. So that's it. Those are my 10 projects. Come back. I was about to say come back to see how they're going, but I'm going to show you how they're going later in the video. I'll be back to show you how they're going. At a risk of bringing embarrassment to myself and shame upon my family name, this is what my room looks like right now. There's a lot of piles of clothes that I need to put away. I've got some clothes that need to go in the wash. There's stuff everywhere. I mean, to be fair, this stuff on the bed, these like pillows and blankets and teddies usually live on my beanbag in a position where it's like nice and sort of like a display, but I can never, but then I always have to take it off. Sorry, I felt weird not facially talking to the camera. I have a lot of teddies that live on my beanbag, except for when I need to film video, and then I need to clear the beanbag, which is always annoying, but they can go on my bed temporarily because I'm not using my bed in the middle of the day when I'm filming a video. Okay, so I'm currently working on whatever number tidying my room was, although I know it wasn't tidying my room, it was making it more fun. But tidying my room was today's part of that. I've been putting clothes away. I'm aware there's still clothes down there, but there's less than there were. I need to hang this up. And I want to show you something. Can I show you guys something? For those of you who saw my video where I was diamond painting, I've now finished the diamond painting. It's been finished for a while. It didn't take me like that long to do it, although I did have like a month where I forgot about it. I'm actually not sure which way is up because it kind of doesn't matter. But look at that. Awesome. It was actually a bit like crocheting. It was so much fun to do in the sense that like it was really satisfying for my hands to do. But I didn't have to, it didn't take a lot of brain power. I could do it whilst watching TV, on my phone, on my desk. Speaking of my desk, I need to clear that next if I'm going to be using the computer for the scratch project. Okay, this is by no stretch of the imagination a clean room, but there's a floor that I can spin around in. Ignore the bed and the desk is clean enough that I can use the computer, but I'm not going to do that right now. Now I'm going to play the piano. I was going to see how much I could learn of this by 3:30. That is 7 minutes away and it's going okay. But like with the piano, right, I can sort of like, I can do this part, it's putting both hands together. I can do this part, it's just putting both hands together. It's not even that tricky, like the left hand chords, and it makes sense. And it's basically the same thing repeated over and over. So it's easy enough thing to learn. I think I've been doing it for like 15 minutes already. Like that's some of it, and that's just the right hand. And I sped it up a little bit faster than it is because first of all I didn't have the left hand, and it's a bit annoying to leave breaks in, and you know, I don't have a lot of storage, but that's sort of how it's going. I'm not sure how the sound is because my phone is on the piano. Let me hear. Okay, good luck to myself. It's gonna go perfect this time and my storage is gonna run out, I can feel it. Okay, that was good enough for starting the project, because I obviously don't want to get it all today because then it wouldn't be the start. And now it's 3:30, so I have to move on to the next thing, which is the scratch project. I'm excited for this one. This is not a very good angle, but it's okay. I'm trying to remember how this game went the first time I made it. Like, what, 5 years ago? I remember the beginning bit was just like, most of what I coded to start off with was like not even part of the game. Well, it was part of the game, but you couldn't even play it. It was like just a cutscene or whatever it's called. So it was telling the story of the monster crash landing on the alien planet. Was there any bit before that of him like traveling through space? I don't think so. Not that I know of. Where is Scratch? Oh, it's up here. Okay, I've been at this for almost half an hour, which means that I need to move on, but I've done an embarrassingly low amount. I've basically just made the spaceship break. I was like, I don't know where to start coding this because mostly I can't remember the storyline, or I need to figure out properly the storyline. So I was just like, I'll figure out how to code the spaceship breaking. Sorry about my very squeaky chest. I'll show you that, but I haven't even got that far with that. We've got the placeholder. These are all placeholder graphics for now because I'm going to draw my own. But this is the monster, this is the alien, it's actually a dinosaur. And these are different parts of the spaceship because when I do this, the spaceship breaks apart. Because of course, like any good cartoon, spaceships don't crash and land and like, they comically break apart where they just explode. I mean, that was quite slow. And I'm trying to figure out how to make the pieces spin. And there's something that says rotation on here, but it's not making it rotate. Okay, I figured out how to make it spin, but now it's like, wait, let me show you. I reset it and now it's all jumbled up from all the spinning. So I need to make sure that like when I press start, it starts upright. So I need to like fix it. Okay, wait, I've been working on this way longer than I should have because I need to move on to the next thing, but I've made it spin faster and it looks slightly better, but the fastness is actually maybe a bit too fast. It looks kind of goofy and it's making me laugh. Okay. Whee! Now we move on to the embroidery. Actually, let me save this scratch project quickly. File, save. Close down. If that hasn't saved, I'm going to be so sad. Embroidery, sorry about that. I need to find some fabric to embroider onto. I'm worried that this video is going to turn out really long, but you know, we'll deal with that when it comes to editing. So this is the belt I was talking about. This is what the planet's going to go onto across here. I found some fabric that's like the same, I think the same as this. Obviously, I don't think this is the best fabric to embroider, but I don't have a lot of fabric in my house at the moment. And because this is the same as this, any of this that you'll see through the embroidery, it won't matter when it gets onto this. If I end up ever being able to attach it. Yeah. I'm gonna start with, do we start with the Earth? Oh, I should turn my computer back on so I can have a picture for reference of any of the planets. I've got a lot of red thread. I could do Mars. The rest of them are a bit too complicated for now. Mars seems good. I won't have to, it's also relative to the other planets smaller, so I won't have to make it as big. Oh, I should keep that in mind, because if I make it too big, I won't be able to make the other planets. Where's the belt gone? I have just been informed that I now have to leave at 5 instead of 5:30, and 5 is in like 15 minutes. So I'm now leaving in 15 minutes rather than like 45 minutes away. So I haven't started the embroidery yet, but gotta go fast. Okay, I'm back. I've eaten dinner. It is now just after 9 o'clock. I've done half of the planet of Mars, just over half maybe, in a slightly awkward circle because I decided to eyeball it instead of drawing on a circle and following the drawing, which I probably should have done, and I'll do that for the rest of them. You live and you learn. I'll be more responsible next time, because I knew that I should draw in a circle, but I couldn't be bothered to find something to like draw a circle around. This is what I've got of my crochet so far. It doesn't look very like wide, but that's because it's very long, so it takes a while to get the rows done. Although I'm quite speedy. Well, compared to other people that I've seen crochet on the internet, I'm not very far I'm not very speedy at crocheting, but I'm fast related to how I used to crochet. So this didn't actually take me that long. I'll do some more if I have time. So now, but I still have, I think it's just 2 more things to do because I've been taking pictures of some hearts. I have to start this book. I haven't started the book yet. So that's one of my next jobs. And the only other thing I believe is, oh no, I've got writing. Okay, so I've got to, this is my sketchbook. I've got to do something in here, and I've also got to write a short story. Forgot about that one. And then I got to edit the video. I've edited some of it already, and it's getting kind of long, so I apologise, but 10 things in one day. Of course, the video was going to end up kind of long. I don't know what to draw. I think I'm going to like Google like a random thing. I did not realise it would be this hard to draw a hot air balloon. I cannot get this symmetrical for the life of me. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but this side is going crazy. Okay, we have our sketch for the day. A hot air balloon. Okay, it's just past 10 o'clock and I've written my, I'm not really going to show it to you. I've written my short story thing. As it's a short story, it doesn't particularly tell a very big part of what I imagine to be this character's journey. But I'll give you like a little summary of what it's about. It's essentially, the short story is about this guy, or this guy who can, who has the power to grant wishes to people. He's not like some fancy magician god or anything. He's literally just some random guy who one day wished for the power to grant wishes to others, or like deny wishes to others. And for some reason, that wish got granted to him. So now anytime someone wishes for something, he's able to be like, yep or nope. So that's what this is about. I think I'm gonna write some more passages about this guy in coming days because not a lot happened in the beginning. But yeah. And finally, would you want to know how many pages I read? I read a grand total of 6 pages. I might read more, but I'm stopping the video very soon because it's already gone 10 and I need to edit it. And I need to make sure that I don't run out of time to edit. But yeah, I know it's not 6 pages out of over 800 is not very far, but you know, it's a start, and the beginning is always the most annoying part of a book to get through. The toughest part is to start, which was the entire point of this video, because now I've started many different little things that if I want to continue on any of them at any given point, it's easier to get into because I already know what it's like. I've already started it, and I don't have to then like go through the energy of starting something new. I can just pick up where I left off. But yeah, now it's time to show you the hearts that I found today. Can't quite remember how many it was, but it was a few. And I think that's everything. I will check, but I think that's everything. So, oh gosh, got to do an outro. The outro is goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my hearts and everything else that I did in this video. I hope it's inspired you to start a little creative project, not be too worried about things going well, not getting too focused on like the end of a project when you just need to start and then you can worry about the rest later. It's always easier to carry on once you got going. Don't get overwhelmed by the whole thing, because you can't do the whole thing at once. That's not how things work. I hope you come back for the rest of this week, the rest of this challenge. Yeah, goodbye. I will hopefully see you on the next one. Like and subscribe.